So let's take a look at the iPhone 17e. It's basically designed for someone who wants a brand new reliable phone without paying the pro tax. But here is a simple breakdown of what's great and what's missing. First, let's break down the pros. What's good about this device? And let's start with the price is right. At $599, it's the most affordable new iPhone. Most people will likely walk out of a store with one for free by signing up for a contract carrier plan, and also even on the prepaid market. Pricing is very aggressive on this device. Even at $600, it is the cheapest phone that you could walk out of the Apple store with when you pay full price, but I highly suggest to look around elsewhere. You can get this device for free from the carrier, also from prepaid. Next pro is magnetic charging, and it finally has MagSafe, meaning you can snap on magnetic wallets, car mounts, or those handy portable battery packs that stick to the back. It was something that a lot of people complained about with the 16e. Next pro is storage, and we have plenty of room here. You won't get those storage full warnings anytime soon. It starts with double the storage of older, cheap models, giving you tons of space for photos and apps with 256 gigs. Now that's plenty of space. I don't see a lot of people running out of space for their photos and videos and apps with that amount of storage. Next pro is that this phone is super fast. It uses the same A19 brain as the more expensive models. It's snappy, apps open instantly, and it won't feel old or sluggish for years. Now that's a big plus. This phone is internally just as a powerhouse as its more expensive counterparts. Next pro is that this phone is smart assistant ready. Now with 8 gigabytes of memory, it's built specifically to handle Apple's new AI features like smarter Siri and automatic photo editing. And we haven't really been introduced to the full power of Siri and smarter AI. We are definitely ready for it with the 8 gigs of storage, but the future will be bright, and you could handle the AI future with this model right here. The next pro is faster wireless charging. Now you can drop it on a charging pad and it will juice up much faster than before, so you aren't tethered to a wall cord all day long. It used to be just Qi charging at 7.5 watts. Now it's doubled to 15 watts Qi 2 charging speeds. Add that to MagSafe and you got a very nice wireless setup. Next pro is great battery life. Now this phone has over a 4,000 milliamp battery, and it makes it a beast. It'll easily get you through a long day of scrolling and streaming, and that's the best battery life by far for a lot of people coming from older models. Next pro have to do with safety features. Now this 17E can connect to satellites to call for help or a tow truck, even if you're in the middle of nowhere with 0 cell bars. This is the great satellite technology, and it has finally been reaching the lower end on Apple's cheapest phone. That's a great plus if you're in a bind and need help with no signal. Next pro is that we have the action button on this phone. It's the customizable button on the side. Now you can set it to instantly turn on your flashlight or open your camera with one click. And you can set it for other modes, but this is nice to have on the lower end phone. It makes it very, very nice to have because this was introduced in higher end models. So now we have it on the lower end model. So we've been talking about the pros of this phone so far, and now let's talk about the cons. And the first one is going to be having to do with the screen. Now it's a beautiful Retina display, but it is a standard screen. It doesn't have that ultra smooth scrolling that has been found in more expensive models. This has 60 hertz, which is not as smooth as 120 hertz on the Pro models, and basically it looks okay, but it's not as fluid. If you scroll up and down, you'll notice the difference on a more expensive model. Again, with the screen, it doesn't have an always on display. When the phone is sitting on a desk, the screen goes completely black. You have to tap it to see the time or your notifications. And also when it's charging, you don't have those really cool big widgets that you could take advantage of. That's still only reserved for the Pro models or the iPhone 17, the regular ones. Next con is that it only has one camera on the back. There is only one lens, and although it takes really great pictures, but you can't zoom out for wide landscape shots or zoom in a lot for close-ups without losing quality. And that's something that you'll notice right away when you turn the phone to its back. It only has one camera, while the other phones have either 2 or 3 cameras on the back. So you know that you're on the lower end model with that single camera on the back, apart from the iPhone Air. Next con is that this phone doesn't have the extra photo button. Unlike the pricier 17s, this one doesn't have a dedicated shutter button on the side for taking pictures like a real camera. Now, I wasn't such a big fan, and most people probably didn't find it that useful, but Apple is improving on that camera button, and I believe they're only going to make it easier to use. And once they figure it out, it'll be a really, really good option to have eventually. But this phone right now doesn't have that camera button. Next con is that it lacks a specific U1 ultra-wide chip or ultra-wide 2 chip. Basically, it's a tracking chip. So if you lose your keys with an AirTag on them, your phone can't give you those precise directions to your phone. It could still send a sound to turn on, but it doesn't give you those really precise movements to turn left or to turn right. That's something that is lacking on this phone. And now that we have the AirTag 2, this feature is even missed more. So all in all, when you add in the pros and the cons, I think the pros outweigh the cons, especially if you get this device for that really, really low, heavily discounted price, or even free with the carriers or on prepaid. It is just getting closer and closer to the perfect phone, but it is missing those features that are still found on $800,000 devices. But the cheapest iPhone is getting better and better every year. And the most important things that everyday people care about is found on this device. So I think this is a go, but only if you can get it under $600.